Tumelo to give the welcome remarks.
The theme is a powerful reminder that growth has no deadline and dreams don't expire. Whether it's delivering your first speech, returning to Toastmasters after a break, or even stepping up for a leadership role, every step forward counts, no matter when it happens. In a world that often rushes us, tonight we pause to remember. It's never too late to learn, to try or to improve, or to even begin again. So let this meeting be a space of courage, encouragement, and fresh starts. Let's begin. As is usually the case, we have our program director of the evening, or what we at Toastmasters call our Toastmaster of the evening. Tonight, our Toastmaster is Leah Musunga. Leah Musunga is a Toastmaster enthusiast. As you can see, she welcomed us before. She has previously served as VPPR of Gaborone Toastmasters Club, that is the Vice President of Public Relations. She's currently serving as both Vice President of Membership and Vice President of Education for this Toastmasters year. She has been an area director and was once Division O director in the year 2023-2024. She is currently serving on the District 74 cabinet as logistics manager, but is also incoming public relations manager for the entire district. Her love for reading also resulted in her serving as editor for the District 74 Achieving Excellence magazine. District 74, if you're not aware, is our district or our geographical location here at Toastmasters. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Toastmaster Leah Musunga as your Toastmaster of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tumelo, for that lovely welcome. And as you stated, welcome everyone to Gaborone Toastmasters. I'm happy to be your Toastmaster of the day for today. As she stated, I'll be the person who will be guiding this meeting. And maybe in the chat, you can just tell us where you are joining us from. Are you joining us from Phase 2, Gaborone, maybe in a different country? Just let's light up the chat and let's just see where are you joining us from. Let's see who we have in our meeting today. There are 20 participants. I'm sure we're all coming from many different places. Let me just see what's happening in the chat. Where are we all coming from? And as our meeting is stating, it is never too late. So whatever it is that your goal is that you want to achieve, our meeting today is speaking to that, to say it's never too late to get started. Sometimes when we have, I remember for myself when I was struggling to be able to speak and articulate myself, I actually heard about Toastmasters from a friend and I ignored it. And then eventually one day I said no. When someone else invited me, I said, this time I am definitely going to go and see what it's all about. And ever since then, I have never turned back. So if you're not a Toastmaster, I can tell you this is definitely the place to be. So part of my role, I'm not doing every single task all by myself. I actually have a team who is here, who will be helping me to get along. And I would like to invite them one at a time. Or I can see that someone is joining us from GQ in Eastern Cape, not Cape Town. That's Gerald. Well, welcome, Gerald. So I'm going to start with our timekeeper. I think I saw our timekeeper joining. Mzamo, if you could please come to the virtual stage and tell us about your role this evening.
Madam Toastmaster of the day, Madam President, good evening. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be on the camera for a few minutes. I'm having technical difficulties, but my role is simple. I'm a timekeeper. One of the lessons we learn at Toastmasters is to ensure that you deliver your speech or whatever task that you've been given on a specific time. Therefore, my role is gonna be ensuring that everyone keeps within time. Unfortunately, for now, I will not be showing you what types of cards will I be showing, but when I join on the screen, you will see that today we have how many speeches? We got one icebreaker, which is 4 to 6 minutes. So at 4 minutes, I will show a green card. And then at 5 minutes, I will show a yellow card or a yellow background. And then at 6 minutes, I will show a red background. And then the speaker will have approximately 30 seconds to close off the speech or to conclude the speech. And then I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 speeches that are 5 to 7 minutes. And at 5 minutes, I will show a green background. And at 6 minutes, I will show a yellow background. And then at 7 minutes, I will then show a red background. That will mean that please conclude and move to and just say goodbye after your speech. And then we also have a hack master who will be running a hack a session called Hack Master. Then it's only 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will show a green background. At 2.5 minutes, I will show a yellow background. And then I will definitely show a red background at 3 minutes, which means please close it off or we are concluding everything. In terms of the evaluations, Madam Toastmaster, we have 2 to 3 minutes, or the grammarian's report is 2 to 3 minutes. Timer, grammarian, and accountant, they have 2 to 3 minutes, and I will show a red, yellow, a green background that's at 2 minutes, and then yellow at 2.5, and then at 3 it's gonna be red. But with general evaluators, we are very kind in terms of time. We will give them 3 to 4 minutes, of which at 4 minutes, we will give them 30 seconds to close off, which means I'll be showing a red background. And then at 2.5, at 3.5, it will be a yellow background. And at 3 minutes, I will then show a green background. We encourage everyone to ensure that they keep within a specified time. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much for that detailed in terms of how you'll be timing anyone who comes to the virtual stage today. So I'll then move on to our grammarian, and our grammarian for the evening is Tsepo. If you could please come and tell us about your role today.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, as grammarian of the day, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any misuses of the English language, as well as outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word of the day is belated, which means happening later than should have been the case. An example of using the word is, I'd like to wish Toastmaster of the Day, Ms. Leah Msunga, a happy belated birthday. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. At the end of all presentations, I'll give a word of the day report and grammatical usage report when called upon the meeting. Thank you, and back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, grammarian of the day, and thank you for that belated wish for my birthday, which was months ago. Thank you so much. We'll then move on to our and that is Tumelo, who will be our counter for today. If you can come and tell us about your role.
Good evening, and thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. As our counter, I'll be taking note of the use of filler words such as so, and even repeated statements like and, I, or even other things we might not be aware of, such as lip smacking and saying or doing some things to fill in the spaces in which we should be speaking. I'll give a report at the end of how we used speech fillers. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you so much for that. We then move on to our hack master, and that is Bonolo. If you could please come and tell us about your role this evening.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests here present. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Tonight, I have the pleasure of playing the role of Hug Master. And hug is an old-fashioned word for listen up. So my role as the Hug Master is to encourage effective listening. And I'll do so by compiling questions during the session, and I'll devise a quiz, about 5 questions or so, at the end of the presentations on what was presented earlier on. I thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for that. And finally, I would like to invite our general evaluator, Palesa, to please come and tell us about her role this evening. Palesa.
Good good evening. I'm struggling with my camera. Please just allow me to proceed. All right. As already stated, my name is Balasa, and I will be your general evaluator this evening. My role is a simple one. It's basically to evaluate the meeting in general, evaluate our speech evaluators, give a report on the timers, the grammarians, the R counters for this evening, and just give a basic report on how the meeting went this evening. I'm going to be sniffing a lot. I'm down with the flu, but hopefully I will be able to get through the evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Palesa, for that. And those are the role players for the evening who will be helping along with this meeting. But before we get, our meeting will be divided into 2 parts. Our better speaking, so this is where people have spent time preparing their speeches, and then our better listening, so this is where they get feedback for their speeches. But before we get to that, I would just now like to just share something, as maybe some of you may not be aware. The district that we are a part of, Gaborone Toastmasters, is called District 74, which is made up of the countries Botswana, Namibia, Lesotho, and South Africa. And every year, there is a conference that is held where they bring all the Toastmasters from these 4 countries. And this past weekend, a conference was held in South Africa. Myself, our division director, Mpo, I see she's on the call. We had the privilege of attending, and we had one of our members here in Gaborone, Cage, who was participating, because one of the things that happens at the conference is the speech contest. So one of our members from Gaborone, from Eloquent, Cage, participated in the speech contest under the evaluation speech contest, which he actually won. So that's amazing. Yay, Botswana. But in terms of our club, I would now just like to share just some awards that we received there just before we get to the speeches, so you can all be proud of Gaborone Toastmasters and the hard work that you are all doing. As I stated, there was what is called a Hall of Fame that was held, and during that session, we received an award for the best public relations. So this just means our social media platforms, people are seeing them and all the content that is there. And we came up tops as a club. So that's amazing. Yay. And then we also got an award. So this is because our club, I think, if you would recall, people who are on from our WhatsApp group, that we did indicate that we are president distinguished, which just basically means that we have achieved 10 goals that indicate that you are a healthy club. And because we achieved those 10 goals indicating that we are a healthy club, those 10 goals are made up of the educational. So every time you present a speech and you complete it on the base camp, you are contributing to ensuring that our club is being recognized, that people are actually working. So membership, so when we get new people joining our club, that is something else that's contributing. The training, so this is now our club exco team, the president, all of the VPE members, whenever they attend training, that contributes. And then admin, ensuring whenever you, our club members, renew your membership in time, that contributes to ensure that we reach our goals, to show that we are a healthy club. And because of all that hard work, we got the 10 DCP sprint. That means we have achieved our 10 goals. So we were recognized for that. And I must tell you, we were the only club that has managed to do that in District 74. So you guys should be proud of Gaborone Toastmasters. And we also got the Smedley Award, which is now honor the club for outstanding membership growth. So this is thank you to all the new members we've received. And we also got the Champion Club Growth Award because of all the growth that we have achieved in the club. Okay, that's the club super sponsor. That's also because of all the members that we got. But I just wanted to share that with you all, just for you to know that Gaborone Toastmasters, this is only possible because you keep on coming, presenting your speeches, attending the meetings, renewing your subscriptions, and this helps us to be recognized. So I'm hoping our next goal for us to be #1 club. We'll continue sharing more how we can be the #1 club for the year. And there'll be another awards happening. And I hope more of us can attend so we can all celebrate together on the stage. So yay, Gaborone Toastmasters, you are doing so well. With that being said, I'll now go right into our better speaking segment. Like I said, this is the segment where people have taken time. Oh, sorry, I realized I forgot for us to call the toast of the day. Oh my goodness, I forgot the toast of the day. So I'd like to invite Gerald to please give the toast of the day before we get to the better speakers. Gerald?
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. I started running when I was 41 years old. And when I entered my first race, I expected the family to be very excited. And they told me that, initially they told me that this is going to be good for my health, I'll set up networks. But they also told me that a lot of people will realize that I'm busy in my midlife crisis. That didn't go down well, but I didn't listen. I went to run my first 10-kilometer race. I was motivated, amazed, and as I was running, I was about to die. But with all of this that happened, I realized that I have no other choice but to keep going. And I also realized that it's never too late to start. So even though I started at age 41, 4 years later, I have improved significantly. Fellow Toastmasters, visiting Toastmasters and guests, this evening I would like to encourage you, whether it is joining Toastmasters for the new members we have inducting, starting that business you always thought of, or even any sports engagement that you want to engage in, it's never too late to start. So this evening, as I propose a toast to the recognitions that was received by Gaborone Toastmasters Club, to some of us that feel that we have a belated start to that which we want to do. And many a times we find ourselves saying that, I wish I started sooner. I want to encourage you that the time that you are starting is the right time. So as we raise our glasses and as we propose a toast, please repeat after me: to small yet effective beginnings.
To
To
small,
small
Small
Yeah.
yet
Yet
effective
yet
beginnings.
effective
Beginning.
beginning.
Cheers.
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 Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Gerald, for that. Definitely poignant for this meeting. We'll now move on to our prepared speakers. And also just to remind you all, our word of the day is belated. So try and incorporate that in your speech. And our first speaker, Idah. Idah, if you could just switch on your camera so you can be spotlighted. I noticed you arrived. Oh, there we go. Okay. And if you can just unmute yourself to make sure your audio is clear.
Good evening, everyone.
All
I'm new to
right.
the talk, so I realized we say we greet the Toastmasters fellow guest and new
Wait. Idah, I haven't yet introduced
Toastmasters
you.
member.
Wait, Idah, hold on. I'll introduce you. All
Okay.
right. Okay, just wanted to make sure that we could hear you. So our first speaker is Idah, who's presenting an icebreaker speech. So she's new to the club, and I will evaluate her. So like I said, she's presenting her first speech, which is called the icebreaker, which is just a speech that is normally to use to introduce oneself. So the speech length is 4 to 6 minutes. So we're definitely looking forward to hearing Idah as she introduces herself. So her speech title is My Coming Out. My Coming Out. Idah, you may take the virtual stage.
Thank you so much, Leah. And as mentioned, I am Idah. I am Idah Heii. I'm Herero from Mahalape. Yes, they are Hereros in Mahalape, not only in Maun. I am a mother to a 3-year-old sweet little person. My speech today, I have named it My Coming Out Season. So for a longest time, I believed and I was very proud of being an introvert. So I was always in my small corner, always indoor. I didn't want to mingle with people. And I was very proud of that. And then I had my son. And then I realized, no, man, I really need the community. I cannot do this parenting alone. I need society, I need community, I need to engage with other mothers, with other parents. My son will have friends. I'll need to visit them. They need to visit us, and we need to have like it's a community. We need to build a community around that. So that hit me. And then as a professional as well, as I was growing up, progressing in my career, I would receive feedback that, do you know from colleagues that, Idah, do you know that you are good at what you do? You are able to assist other colleagues, or you are able to provide help when necessary every time people reach out to you. And especially as a professional in the HR space. So I was always able or available to assist where possible. And then as I progressed, I thought to myself, yeah, I have the experience, I have the content, I have the knowledge, but I'm unable to articulate myself. I'm unable to explain this concept in meeting setups, because as you progress in your career, you find yourself sitting in meetings where decisions are made, and you have to add on the discussions. So I was unable to add on or to voice my suggestion or my opinion, my advice in meeting setups. So I lacked effective communication skills. Even though I had the knowledge, I knew what I wanted to say or what I had to say. But in that moment, I lacked the confidence to raise up my hand and say, by the way, this is how I think it should be done. But after the meeting, usually, or on my one-on-one engagement with my colleagues or my managers, I would be able to articulate the concepts. I would be able to engage, to advise employees, to advise the managers or the employers on HR matters. And I'm really good on that. So I realized that there's something that I need to do. So mid last year, I decided to embark on a journey of personal development. I started with trying to read books to broaden or to work on my vocabulary. I tried to go out a lot to engage with fellow colleagues, with fellow professionals, and as an introvert, the only thing that I had was Instagram. I would be on Instagram a lot of the time. So I realized that Instagram is not saving me, because I need to work on myself. I'm a professional. I need also to work on myself as a brand, to put myself out there, because I have the content, I have the knowledge, I have the experience. So I uninstalled the Instagram app. Now I'm spending a lot of time, or the only app that I have actually on my phone is the LinkedIn platform. I spend most of my time in there. I read articles, I engage with fellow professionals, even though I'm still sometimes feel like, no, I shouldn't comment, or how people say. I realized that it's never too late to put myself out there. So slowly but surely, I'm coming out of my comfort zone. I'm coming out of my small corner to the world. That's why I've also decided to join a club like Toastmasters, because I had reached out to a few people and they suggested it. I reached out to Dumelo, and she also advised that I'll really get the help that I need in this club. I need to work on my vocabulary by reading books. I need to work on my presentation skills. I need to work on my communication skills. I also need to work on my social skills. I need to go out more. So yeah, that's the main reason why I joined this club, because I believe it's never too late to learn. It's never too late to start something new, to grow. And yeah, that's why I decided to be on this, or to join the club. That's all from myself this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Idah, for that. And since this is her first speech, I'd like to request if you could all unmute and just give her a big hand. Woo, 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 woo. Well done, Idah. Well done.
Yay!
Well done. Well done. Well done. This is great. Like the fact that you have started. And I know earlier I almost thought you wouldn't make it for the meeting, but I'm glad you made it and you presented your speech. This is great. That is our first speaker. So we're now going to move on to our next speaker. And speakers, I just want to remind you, our word of the day is belated. Ensure that you use it and you are not belated in using it. Don't know if I've used that well. And just also to remind you, our timer's hand is raised. So his video is the first one in the list. So you'll be able to notice when he changes the colors from green, yellow to red. So we'll now move on to our next speaker, and that is Moeketsi. But before our next speaker comes to the virtual stage, I would like to invite the evaluator, or there she is, Lame, to please come to the stage and tell us the speech objectives of Moeketsi's speech.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Lamem Tetwa, and this evening I'll be evaluating speaker number 4, Moeketsi Nthombeni. Moeketsi will be doing his project, vocal variety and body language, and the purpose of his project is for him to practice using vocal variety and body language to enhance speech. Looking forward to Moeketsi's speech. All the best to you, Toastmaster Moeketsi.
Thank you so much, Lame, for that. So with the speech title, "This is the sound of my voice. This is the sound of my voice." Moeketsi, you may take the virtual stage.
Do not speak Venek in my class, she said as she slapped me across the face, and I lost myself forever. Good evening, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. I was exactly in grade 8, jovial and happy, like a young boy should be when you move to secondary school. You see, I've always loved talking a lot. But now, I was in an English class where I was not supposed to use Venek. But what did I do? Obviously, I'm with friends. And I wanted to explain something in Venek. Yes, it was those times when teachers would slap you across the face for saying something wrong, or slap you just because they felt like it. Fellow Toastmasters, I became this conserved boy. Sat in the front seat, kept quiet, even when I knew the answer. I had lost my one precious thing that I always had, which is my voice. Yes, I could still speak, obviously, after class. But that meant that each and every class I went to, I was scared of that slap, because I promise you, it didn't feel good. As time went on, I wasn't able to find my voice. But let's park that for a minute. Have you ever realized how many of us go into a meeting that are actually unable to speak? Is it because we don't know how to speak? Or is it because we lost something along the way? Now back to my story while you're pondering on that. I didn't realize what had happened. I turned into an introvert. Finished high school, went to college, never said a single word. Got my first job interview, failed at it because I didn't have a voice. Got a second opportunity, got trained on how to use my voice effectively, project my voice to such a point that when I speak a message, it comes across evenly nice. But the fear in me of being slapped held me back. Now I went into meetings. Do you think I participated? No. I just sat there, even when I saw that something is going wrong amongst the meeting, because I had the fear of being, you guessed that right. Now, as I continued throughout my journey of employment and I realized that I needed this, there came along Toastmasters. Oh yes, my voice came back when I delivered my icebreaker. Because when I stood in front of a crowd that I didn't know, strangers who clapped for me when I went upstage, I knew that even if I spoke Venek, they were going to clap for me. And the me that you know came out, or rather the me you would soon to know came out. I found that I have a strong voice that I needed to use each and every time to achieve something. And I did just do that. I walk around the corridors of my company and people go, there's that loud, noisy person. I walk around in the neighborhood, they go, hey, you talk too much. You don't stop. It's because I found my voice after years of having it compressed by a single teacher. But let's come back to this question of, do you think you are quiet in meetings because you don't know, or is it your voice? What have you done to empower yourself? Yes, I'm praising Toastmasters. But it took more than just Toastmasters for me to find my voice. It took continuous encouragement from different leaders within the organization, or rather within the community I live in. Continuous encouragement is to say, you've got this, you can do this, you've got the brains to use so that you are able to use your voice. Fellow Toastmasters, allow me to say, after 15 years of not knowing the difference between how to use my voice correctly, how to use my voice effectively to grab people's attention, I started learning afresh as a newborn baby. Because a newborn baby doesn't come out crying, wailing to say, "Mommy, look at me." And their crying comes in different tones. And I also had to learn to say, this is the voice I use when I'm sitting in an auditorium making noise, just to distract people so that they get the energy. And this is a voice you use when you're sitting in a serious meeting making notes to say, but I think you are actually incorrect there. And this is the voice I use to whisper and gossip about people. And this is the sound of my voice. And man, am I glad that I found my voice after that hot slap across the face. Maybe, and just maybe, it helped me. Or maybe, and just maybe, it did not help me. But to challenge you to find that inner voice that you have, fellow Toastmaster, I say to you today, remember that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. It took one step to stop me speaking for a long time. One step only. So now, challenge yourself and remember, you got what it takes. Madam Toastmaster.
Woo, woo, woo. You've got what it takes. Find your voice. Thank you so much, Moeketsi, for that speech. Indeed. We'll move on to our next speaker, and that's Asalepele, and who will be evaluated by Tato. I see Tato, you are there and ready. If you could please give us the speech objectives of Asalepele's speech. And there she is.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. I have the pleasure of evaluating Asalepele Banda. Toastmaster Asalepele is doing Pathway Presentation Mastery Project 4. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. This means Toastmaster Asalepele has already done the first speech and was evaluated. The member now has to demonstrate that she has applied the feedback received from her first speech, with her speech titled "My Journey Fighting Procrastination." Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for that. So with the speech title, My Journey Fighting Procrastination, My Journey Fighting Procrastination, Asalepele.
Please raise your hands if you've ever avoided doing something that you knew that you had to do, and you knew if you don't do it, there were repercussions, but somehow you still avoided doing it. So that was me. So I started work in 2016, and when I started work, I had to talk to people. I pretty much knew then that I had to join Toastmasters, but hey, I joined Toastmasters in 2025. A little backtrack. So last year, around October, I'm going through the internet looking for jobs as always. So I'm actually going to a particular site because I'm looking for an international job. Then my job appears. I'm saying my job because I have been manifesting this job for a long time. And it appears, and I'm like, I'm excited. And somehow it feels like, yeah, this is going to be my job. I'm calm about it. Because, like I said, I had been looking forward to this job. So years before, I had seen the exact advert. And I knew the job description from A to Z. I knew the qualifications that were needed for this. So I started working towards that. I was like, there's a lot of research in this job, so I need to have my master's minimum. So what did I do? I enrolled for a master's. As I'm going through that, it's all good. I'm sailing, it's fine. There's another master's I see. It's actually a scholarship. And I'm like, yeah, that's another one. Your girl is on a roll. So at this point, I'm sure that I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I'm sure that I'm going to be graduating with 2 master's degrees and I'll be untouchable. But somehow, along the way, just because I've done about 40% of my coursework at the first one, 40 or 60% somewhere, because I was only left with the thesis, I decided I don't think I want to do this anymore. I did not like my supervisor for one. I felt like this is a lot of work and I have to do it alone. There's no structure. Nobody's helping me with anything. So I wrote emails. I came up with all sorts of things just to avoid doing it. But the university was like, nope, you can't pause it now because we've already started. But what did Asa do? Asa decided not to submit, I decided I'm not going to engage with the supervisor. I don't like him. I don't think he likes me. I'm not going to interact with him anymore. I'm not going to submit anything. Just like that, I left. I was scared. I don't know why. It's not like I doubted that I could do it. I knew I could do it, but somehow I was scared of something. I don't know what that was. So anyway, that's post. There's the second one. Everything is going well as well. Now come time to do the dissertation. That little knot came back again. Luckily enough, in this case, they said, no, it's fine. If you want to pause, it's okay. You can pause, you can always come back. And I did exactly that. So when I was busy celebrating that I have this job, in my mind, I'm thinking, ongoing masters should mean something. I mean, after all, I've done the coursework. It's only the research part. But this job actually is it's more research driven. So the research is actually needed. But in my little mind, I try to rationalize it. I'm like, it should count for something. And I'm confident I'm still calm, like this is my job. So I apply, go through the motion. I'm waiting, I'm calm. So the fact that I was calm was even more reason for me to actually believe it was my job. Until one day, I'm at work. A colleague calls me. He's like, hey, Asa. I'm like, hey, man, what's up? He's like, how are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm good. I'm just waiting for my job, the international one. I'll be traveling a lot. So I can't wait for that. And so he says, well, I'm really sorry. But yeah, they hired a professor. I'm like, what? I started cussing 20 minutes straight. It was F word everywhere. And then I composed myself. I was like, well, I mean, he's a professor. I'll probably get there in the next 15 years. Maybe it will be my job then. It's just not the time. But then I thought, I knew all along what this job wanted. I just didn't do it. Then I started researching why I was avoiding what I need to do. There's so much information in the internet. Some say it's a focus issue, some say it's laziness, but I knew I'm no lazy person. But I came across this good research that actually showed that procrastination is actually emotional regulation. I looked back, like all the times I didn't go ahead with this thing, there was a knot in my stomach. I was scared of something. I was anxious. So I decided I need to confront this thing head on, because I don't want to look back 20 years later and be where I am today, wondering why I didn't finish what I started. So I joined Toastmasters. And every time I come here and I have to give a speech, I get this knot. But I've decided this knot is me showing up for myself. And I feel good coming here and confronting this monster. And this is my journey fighting procrastination. Thank you.
Woo, woo, woo. Fight procrastination. Thank you so much, Asalepele, for that. Indeed. We'll keep following you as you continue on your journey to fight procrastination. I'd now like to invite our final speaker of the evening. But before our final speaker comes to the virtual stage, I'd like to invite the evaluator, and that is Tumelo, to please give us the speech objectives.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. Tonight, I have the pleasure of evaluating Kamohelo Motseoeneng, who is embarking on the presentation mastery pathway. She's on level 2, project 3, understanding your communication style. The purpose of this project is for the speaker to learn different communication styles and identify their primary style. The purpose of the speech then is for them to share with us the impact of their leadership style on others, and they're free to do so in a speech of any manner that they choose. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, Kamohelo Motseoeneng. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much for sharing the speech objectives. So with the speech title, Your Purpose in Life, Kamohelo, you may take the virtual stage.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I would like to start with a confession. For the longest time, I've lived my life in silence. Not in the literal sense, but in my mind. I had thoughts, dreams, and opinions, just like anyone else. Although, whenever it was my turn to speak, I would step back for that moment. I was the one listening, observing, and always speaking last, if I spoke at all. It was not until later in life, some might even say it took too long, that I came to this realization. My voice has value. The way I communicate plays an important role. In addition, more importantly, the communication choice we make impacts everyone around us. Discovering my communication style. For a long time, I thought that being quiet was the same as being respectful. And silence means wisdom. There's some truth to that. but it's also risky to use silence as a shield against fear. My main way of communicating, it was passive. I avoided conflicts and listened more. Then I spoke, not out of strategy, but out of uncertainty. I figured that if I just spoke and agreed with everyone, things would go more smoothly. But as time passed, I realized that being passive like this meant my needs weren't met. My voice wasn't heard, and my relationships, both in my personal life and at work, were imbalanced. When I finally mastered the courage to speak up, it felt like I was way behind the times. It was like I had missed out on years of choices to say what I really thought. Therefore, I had reminded myself it's never too late to make a change and start speaking your mind. A turning point happened while we were working on a project at work. I had this idea, and honestly, I thought it could really change things for the better. Like usual, I kept quiet. Then another colleague said pretty much the same thing, and everyone praised him for it. That night, it hit me by holding me back. I wasn't being humble. I was just making myself invisible. I wasn't coming across as polite. I was practically fading away. I decided to try something different. I began with little steps. I worked on being assertive, finding the sweet spot between being too passive and too aggressive. I started saying things like, I think, and I believe more often. I asked questions and offered opinions. And you know what? People actually listened. It wasn't because I was being loud or forceful, but because I was finally sharing my thoughts. Some examples of the impact of communication styles are aggressive communicators can get results, but often at the cost of the trust and long-term collaboration. Assertive communicators respect both themselves and others. They create space for dialogue and not dominance. As I started moving towards assertiveness, I saw my relationship get better. I earned respect, felt less stressed, and people seemed to feel more at ease around me because I was being genuine, not just reacting. So what's my purpose in life? It's simple, but powerful. Encourage others to discover and utilize their genuine voice, whether it's during a meeting, within a relationship, or a moment of self-reflection. Your voice holds value. And if you're ever considered it's too late for me to speak up, to change, to heal, I want you to understand it isn't. It might feel overdue, but growth doesn't come with an expiring date. Confidence doesn't adhere to a strict schedule. Purpose doesn't arrive on a strict timeline. It reveals itself where you're ready to listen and brave enough to respond. Think about your primary communication style. Ask yourself, is it serving you? Is it helping you connect or causing disconnection? Is it rooted in fear or clarity? You have the power to adapt, to embrace a fresh approach to how you connect with the world. You can choose to be more engaged, more genuine in your interactions. Whether this sinks when you're 25 or 65, the core message holds true. It's never a lost cause to step into the shoe of the communicator, the individual you're meant to be. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you so much, Kamohelo, for that speech. Woo, 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 woo. Wow, very interesting take on that particular project. Thank you so much for that. So those are people who have spent time preparing for their speech, whether it's a week or 2 weeks, they had spent some time preparing. So those are our prepared speakers. So that concludes that session of our meeting. We will now, I hope you were listening very well. We're now going to launch the poll so you can vote for the best effort speaker of the night. So I will launch the poll, best effort speaker. So you should see something popping. Oh, sorry. I'm launching the evaluator one. Apologies. Best effort speaker. There we go. So we had 5 speakers this evening. Idah Kagelelo Mogotsi, Asalepele, and Kamohelo. If you could please vote. So as you are voting, I would like to invite our timer to the virtual stage to please give us the timing of our speakers this evening.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Am I audible?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Madam Toastmaster, am I audible? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
You can hear me speaking. Okay, great. All right, thank you very much. She spoke for 5 minutes, 45 seconds. Kagelelo, did 6 minutes, 40 seconds. Moeketsi spoke for 6 minutes, 21 seconds. Asalepele, for a person who procrastinates, she showed 38 seconds. And Kamohelo, 7 minutes, 41 seconds. If we were in a competition, unfortunately, gonna be disqualified, but that will be explained further by Madam Toastmaster of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, for the timing. Yes, if you're in a contest, once you exceed 7 minutes 31, then you will no longer, you will be disqualified from a contest. And I must say, the contest that were held in the district this past weekend, someone was actually disqualified because they spoke beyond time. So it's always so disappointing when that happens. So in Toastmasters, want to make sure we speak within the required time. So with that being said, I would like to invite our Hack Master to this virtual screen and test to see how well we were listening to the speakers this evening. Bonolo?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. I guess we were all listening attentively. It's now the time to test our listening abilities. First things first, I would like to know who said is a mother of a 3-year-old?
Idah.
Correct. So I'll just ask my questions randomly like that.
Okay.
Who had a speech titled? All right, let me rephrase that one. Who wrote a love letter to herself?
Kagelelo.
All right.
She's still waiting for the reply.
Okay. Who said he had lost? Okay, I'm now giving clues. Who said? All right. No, that one I gave away. I gave away that one. All right.
No, I was listening. Get a slap in the
I took a lot of notes. Now my questions aren't structured the way I wanted to structure them. Okay, let's do this. Who said they now spend a lot of time on LinkedIn?
Idah.
Idah. All right, correct.
Idah.
Who had a speech titled "This is the sound of my voice"?
Moeketsi.
Correct. Are they easy? I feel like my questions are easy.
Yes.
Or you have very good listeners.
Wow.
All right. There's a speaker who said she was done with her master's to some degree. She gave percentages. I want those percentages.
Asalepele.
I want the percentage.
40% to 60, between 40 and 60%.
30%.
Correct. And then somebody talked about emotional regulation. Who was that?
Asalepele.
All right. Unfortunately, my time is up. Thank you so much for the active listening.
Thank you so much, Abunolo, for that. As you said, I don't know if your questions are easy, maybe because you're not asking us numbers like others do, but thank you so much, everyone who was responding. It shows that indeed you were listening and paying attention to the speakers. And of course, that's what we want to ensure, that you do pay attention to the speakers. With that being said, we'll now move on to our better listening segment. So this is where we receive the feedback. And I'd like to invite our general evaluator, Alyssa, to please chair the following session.
Good evening, everyone. I am back once again. I have two roles this evening. I am the general evaluator, and I will also be evaluating Kagelelo Mogotsi this evening. To start, we will start with the evaluations for the evening, and I will then conclude with the general evaluation for the meeting. All right, so the first evaluator this evening is Bonolo Kwapa, who was evaluating Idah Heii. Please, let's welcome Bonolo Kwapa to the stage to give us feedback for Idah.
I'm actually the one who evaluated Idah.
Oh, okay. Thank
No
you.
worries. Yeah. Okay. So, Idah, once again, a very big hand to you for taking that first step in your Toastmasters journey by giving your icebreaker speech. And I must say that for an icebreaker speech, I mean, I saw from the timing you got like 5 minutes, 46 seconds, and it's about 6 seconds. I mean, 6 minutes for the speech. So well done, like really utilizing the time. So I'll just share in terms of items that I noticed that you did well. So you were very clear, you were very audible. It was great that you told us a story. In Toastmasters, we always say we like to hear stories. So you told us a little bit about yourself, how you are a Herero from Mahalape. I didn't know that the Hereros from Mahalape. And you told us you're a mother of a 3-year-old. So we got to know a little bit about yourself. Then you took us through your work journey and also what brought you to want to Toastmasters for you to work on your public speaking. So I feel like this evening you definitely shared with us about you so that we could actually get to know you. And you shared so many different details about you. So I think everyone who is gathered here can definitely say they know a little bit about Idah by the end of this evening. I think definitely for an icebreaker speech, like I said, the fact that you utilized almost all the time, I think that was really well. You really structured your speech well with your intro and even the way you ended your speech. So that was great. So I think what I would then recommend the next time when you do give your speech, something just to note, is that you reintroduce yourself after the Toastmaster of the day had introduced you. So normally once you are introduced to the virtual stage, you don't need to reintroduce yourself or even your speech title because that has already been said. So once you come to the virtual stage, you just get right into your speech. And then maybe just one thing to just challenge yourself the next time when you do present your speech is maybe next time try and give your speech in a standing position, just as a way to help you, because as you start on this journey, we'll want to see you incorporating body movement, and it's always much better for that to be done when you're actually giving your speech in a standing position. So I'd just challenge you maybe the next time when you do present your speech to give it in a standing position. Other than that, well done in presenting your icebreaker speech. To me, you didn't sound like a brand new newbie. It sounds like you really are a speaker sharing a story, very clear, audible, just the flow of your story. We were able to follow along. That was really well. Just be mindful not to reintroduce yourself or your speech title, and looking forward to hearing more of your stories as you continue on your Toastmasters journey. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. The second evaluator this evening that I will call up is myself. I was evaluating Kagelelo Mogotsi, as already stated. First things first, Kagelelo, I would love to congratulate you on giving a well-structured speech. The purpose of your speech was to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech. And I believe you did that well. Your speech had an introduction, it had a body, a clear body with your storytelling, and a great conclusion to end it off. What I loved about your speech was how you began speaking to us as an audience before you even started your speech. You started speaking to us by giving us an impromptu, by being impromptu and congratulating the club on its award. That alone showed me that this speaker is paying attention, number one, they're listening effectively, and they are able to incorporate new items into their speech off the cuff, which is a skill here that is harnessed at Toastmasters. The next thing that I loved about your speech was the fact that you gave it standing up. When you give a speech standing up, it exudes confidence as opposed to when you're sitting down, because when you're sitting down, you tend to, well, as people, we tend to clasp our hands and keep to ourselves. But standing up gives you the opportunity to express yourself with confidence. The third thing that I loved was you used a story. Here at Toastmasters, we love stories. We enjoy stories. Stories help us follow through with your speech. They give your speech a beginning, a middle, and an end, which you did very well. The last thing that I really loved, and I would love to congratulate you on, is the fact that you still showed up. You still showed up. Those are words that you used in your speech, and you did exactly that. There was an instance where you forgot your speech, some of your speech, but although it was evident and palpable, we could see that you forgot it. You still showed up and continued to push through that discomfort, which I really appreciated. What I would have loved to see in your speech is using your hand gestures appropriately. Although the standing was worked well for you, it's important to also master how to use hand gestures appropriately to deliver your speech or emphasize any point that you might be making. I remember there was a point where you were speaking about how you would shy away or make excuses about going into the swimming pool with your friends. Those were opportunities for you to make hand gestures or actions to show us how you would shy away from joining your friends in the pool. The second thing I would have loved to see was the positioning of your camera. Your camera was, we could see we could see you, however, the hands or your hand gestures weren't in full view. So we would literally just see maybe your hands and not your entire hand. So next time I would challenge you to maybe step away from the camera so your entire body is in full view and we can clearly get the full view of how you look while you're presenting. The next thing that I would challenge you is to practice your introduction and conclusion very well. By doing this, even when you forget some parts of the presentation, you are able to quickly you're able to quickly come up with words or cover up for forgetting some of your elements in the speech. I could tell that you had practiced really well. However, next time, just try and use that, just try and practice the conclusion and the intro first and very well. And I promise you, your speech will flow as well. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing your next speech, Kagelelo, and congratulations once again. Thank you. Okay. I am back again with the general evaluator hat. Excuse me, everyone. The next evaluator is Lamem Tetra. Lamem Tetra was evaluating Moeketsi Nthombeni this evening. Lamem Tetra, please join me on the virtual stage to give Moeketsi his feedback. Thank you.
This is my voice when I'm whispering. And this is my voice when I'm making noise. Well done, Moeketsi, for giving such an inspiring speech. This is the sound of my voice. Happy to let you know that you are not the only one with a big voice. I believe you can hear from my voice that I also have a big voice. Congratulations once again. What did you do well in your speech, Moeketsi? The purpose of your speech was for you to practice using vocal variety and body gestures to do what? To enhance a speech. You started with a personal story. We love personal stories. Why do we love personal stories? Because personal stories, you are able to connect and engage with your audience. What did you do very well? There was a very good use of vocal variety and body language. And to be exactly clear, what I was paying attention in terms of your vocal variety and body language is this. In terms of your vocal variety, I was paying attention to your tone, to your speed, and to your volume. And in terms of your body language, I was paying attention to how your body, your physical gestures, how you connected with your audience, whether you exerted some confidence. I was paying attention to your movements. Points of growth in terms of how you did with your project. When you started your speech, Moeketsi, you started with a story. You were seated down. You limited yourself to express the body language. I could only see half of your hand gestures. If you were given your speech standing up, that would have been a good space to express your body gestures. Secondly, a point of strength or something to work on. There was an overuse of hand gestures. With almost every sentence, you included your hand gestures, more like what I'm doing right now. So I can say you probably talk or speak with your hands. Something just to pay attention to and remember the purpose is using your body language to enhance your hand gestures and vocal variety. So your body language or your vocal variety needs to be used effectively. When you described the type of your voice, this is my voice when I'm whispering. I would have loved to see the facial expressions to really enhance, to couple it with, this is my voice of whispering. And this is my voice when I'm making noise. And this is my voice when I'm giving a presentation, the facial expressions. Otherwise, you did very well. I enjoyed your speech. With every moment that you had an opportunity to engage your vocal variety and your body language, you did that very well. Next time, just challenge yourself to do what? Give your speech standing up so you are able to express your body postures quite well. Otherwise, all the best. And I'm wishing to see you inviting people to become a voice coach so that you can teach people the voice of whispering and the voice of making noise. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lamem. The next evaluator this evening is Thato Komane, who was evaluating Toastmaster Asalepele Banda. Thato Komane, please join me on the virtual stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. Please raise your hand to know you have avoided something. Knowing repercussions of not doing it will be big. What a way to start your speech, Asalepele. Unfortunately, we did not communicate prior to a second, so I had to observe diligently to identify the areas where the speaker or where you were more self-aware in terms of your speech or the evaluations from the first speech. I will share your evaluation in 3 parts. First, what you excelled on, what to work on, and to what to challenge yourself. So you shared a personal story to demonstrate how to fight procrastination. That's right. So you gave us examples from 2019. You knew you have to improve on your speaking skills. You delayed until 2025. You started 2 master's program, and all of them you stopped along the way just before completion. Another procrastination. You missed on the job that was taken by the professor. So all this demonstrate in terms of procrastination, what us as individual can do. So I really enjoyed the content that you shared with us, and also supported by the personal story. Clearly shows that this was a well-prepared speech. You are a very confident speaker, and that was portrayed throughout your speech. It was clearly demonstrated that you are really a confident speaker. I like the use of your body language. My assumption is somehow it was highlighted in the first speech, but you did great in the way you were using your body language, your hand gestures, your tone. I really liked your tone variety, the changes in the volume. You were in control of your pace, and the facial expression, clearly it was shown throughout your speech. So you have really excelled in those areas. So what you may work on, while I was observing you throughout your speech, I think we can work on the consistency in your body language and head gestures. When you were talking about, you were excited about the job, you were just showing your hands that you are excited about the job, but you should have showed more emotion and showing exactly what you are referring to. So I think we can just combine in terms of the use of head gestures and in terms of the content that you are referring to. So I think that's something that you can improve on, and what you can challenge yourself. You are a very confident speaker, Asalepele. So what I can say to challenge yourself is just to be very cautious in terms of the use of your body language. Be very mindful of your hand gestures, like the example I just shared. But overall, you are a very great speaker, and it was a well-presented speech. So well done, Asalepele, and back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Mr. Komane. Thank you for that evaluation. Our next evaluator is our club president, Kamohelo Motseoeneng, who was evaluating Kamohelo. Kamohelo Motseoeneng, please may you join me on the virtual stage to give us feedback for Kamohelo's speech.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, and good evening once again, Gaborone Toastmasters, visiting Toastmasters, and guests, but most especially good evening to you, Kamohelo Motseoeneng. Tonight, I had the pleasure of listening to you speak and evaluating you. You started off by saying, I have a confession, and I thought, ooh, I'd like to hear this. You had me. And for the purpose of your own engagement and your understanding and benefit, and for the rest of us, I'll give my evaluation in the simple format of 3 things you did well, 2 things you may want to work on, and 1 way to challenge yourself. First and foremost, Kamohelo, you were clear and you exuded confidence from what I could see. You also gave a well-structured speech with a clear beginning or an introduction, a body, and what I assumed was a conclusion, even though it was not stated as such. But the speech was indeed well-structured. You also added stories. You took us on your journey of how you came to appreciate your own communication style. However, there are 2 things I think you may want to work on. First and foremostly, you gave your speech while seated, and what I assumed was while you were reading, as you can see with what I'm doing right now. And because of that, we did not get to appreciate your body language. Rather, we only saw your facial expressions. In the same breath, we could not engage in the form of your vocal variety, in that since you were reading, you were quite monotone from what I noticed. However, vocal variety is multi-layered in that there's tone, there's volume, there's pitch, and there's speed, and all of these ways in which you can play with your voice to enhance your speech. With that said, one way to challenge yourself, I think I'd like for you to challenge yourself not to read. However, note that cue cards are allowed. Rather, formulate a small cue card and give your speech while standing so that we can get to hear and see your full gestures during your speech. When you do that, it's one way in which we can understand exactly how you came into finding your communication style. You spoke of how you used to be passive and you avoided conflict. These are things that happened to you. Therefore, these stories resonate with you, and that are the ways in which you can help engage your speech in both the spheres of body language and of vocal variety. With that said, though, congratulations on this wonderful speech. And in summation, I'd just like to remind you the 3 things you did well. You were clear and you were quite confident. You had a well-structured speech and you added stories. These stories are what could have helped you to improve the 2 areas, being your body language and your vocal variety. One way to challenge yourself is to read less and relay these stories. They're your personal experiences. We were not there in that boardroom when you were anxious or even scared to just ask or add that comment. It's a personal story in which you could relay best. In conclusion, thank you once again, Kamohelo, for taking up that speech and delivering it with our club. I'm indeed honored to have evaluated you tonight, and I wish you the best on all your endeavors on this pathway and others in future. Thank you. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Madam President, for the evaluation of Kamohelo's speech. We have come to the end of our evaluations for the prepared speeches this evening. We will now be moving on to reports from our grammarian, our counter, and timekeeper. I would like to call on the grammarian who's been listening for our language usage and might want to give us any points of improvement. Our grammarian this evening is Tepo Mahoe. Tepo, may you please join me on the virtual stage to give your report.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I did not note any grammatical errors on our speeches, but I need to say tonight's speeches were decorated with metaphors, phrases, quotes, and expressions from our speakers. From those I noted, Kagelelo Mogotsi saying she was as stiff as a doll, meaning that she was rigid or inflexible. And she also used the expression drowning in fear, which simply means she was scared. Moeketsi Nthombeni, he said he found his voice. And he also used a quote, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step." Asalepele Banda used an expression, "going through the motions," which means to do something without commitment or enthusiasm. She also used the metaphor, knots in her stomach, meaning she was nervous or anxious. Kamohelo said she spent her life in silence. She also used the expression "muster the courage," meaning to gather some boldness. On the use of the word of the day, which was belated, I only noted the use of the word from 2 speakers, being Madam Toastmaster, Leah Musunga. She used the word twice. And then speaker number 2, Kagelelo Mogotsi, used the word once. Thank you, and back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster Tshepo. The next report that we will have is from the Iron Arm Counter. Our Iron Arm Counter this evening was Kagelelo Mogotsi. Madam President, may you please come to the virtual stage to give us your report on our I's and Ums. I'm sure I feature in that list.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Our R&R counter report goes as such. But before I deliver it, I'd like to just give a small disclaimer. These counts are not a reflection of who you are, but rather the areas of improvement. With that said, our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Leah Musunga, had 2 A's and 7 so's. Our icebreaker of the evening, Idah, had 17 A's, 9 so's, 11 arms, 1 I, and 1 2. Our second speaker, Kagelelo, had 1 1 1 so. But this so was used in a so here's the thing, Kagelelo. So I'm hoping it was a conjunction of sorts. But however, I noted that her favorite speech filler is actually lip smacking. After every sentence, she goes, yes. Moeketsi, I picked up no speech fillers at all. Asalepele, I picked up 1 1 and 7 so's. With Kamohelo, I did not pick up any speech fillers, by the way. With our general evaluator, Ms. Palisa, I picked up 1 Lame, no speech fillers. Tato, I'm sorry, I got distracted. I was going through my notes for my evaluation. Myself, I'm biased. I didn't count mine. But our grammarian, I picked up 2 R's, if I'm not mistaken. And that brings me to the end of the report. But just to say, with speech fillers, apparently this is what we do when our brain short circuits and doesn't think as fast as our mouth wants to move. Therefore, we want to use these words to fill in the spaces. Instead, rather take a moment and breathe and get your ducks in a row in your thinking on the straight and narrow, and thus you will avoid using speech fillers. Thank you. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Madam President. We will now move on to the timekeeper's report. Timekeeper, are you ready to give us the report?
Definitely, I'm ready. Maybe let me use the word of the day and say happy belated to whoever that was celebrating the birthdays in the past couple of days or weeks, so that I can be counted as someone that has used the word of the day. Let me start with the hack master. She took 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Grammarian, Seppo, 1 minute, 45 seconds. A counter, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. And back to the evaluation, speech evaluations. Cecilia, our Toastmaster of the day, our everything and overachiever of note. She took 3 minutes, 27 seconds. Palisa, our general evaluator, speech evaluator, everything evaluator, she took 5 minutes exactly instead of 3 to 4 minutes. Lame Mthethwa, 4 minutes, 3 seconds. Thato, 3 minutes, 35 seconds. And Tumelo Maphalala, jack of all trades, 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Mr. Timer, for this evening. Thank you very much. Madam Toastmaster of the day, are we going to have our poll for the best evaluator? Is that going to come up?
Yes, I'll launch it while you give your general evaluation report. So I'll launch the poll for best evaluator. So you will see something popping up on your screen for you to vote.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Let me vote before I give my evaluation for the meeting. Great. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for attending this evening's meeting. I will be giving the general evaluation for today's Gaborone Toastmasters meeting. First and foremost, the meeting started on time, which I appreciate. Here at Toastmasters, little things, something as seemingly little as time. So the fact that we are on time with our start is great, and that gives us the guests also appreciate the fact that we keep to our time. The next thing that I appreciated about the meeting is the etiquette. More often than not, when we attend online meetings, there isn't any mention of how we are to conduct ourselves. We just know the general rule is have your microphone on mute. But the Toastmaster of the day went on to give more options of how to conduct ourselves during the meeting, which I appreciated. And the fact that there was a disclaimer or the courtesy of the Toastmaster by informing the audience that if you are uncomfortable with having yourself recorded, you have an option of requesting that you are not recorded when you speak, which I thought was great. When I move on to the speakers, I believe all speakers were well prepared and engaged, and this was evident during the Hackmaster session as we all answered the questions correctly, which means we were attentive. All speakers were present. We didn't have to fill any speaker slots. And I also appreciate the fact that the club was able to get Toastmasters from different clubs to take up roles, which shows that Gaborone Toastmasters is a club, it's a welcoming club. It's a global club. Okay. All in all, I believe the meeting went well. In terms of the timing was great. The agenda was followed to the T. In terms of challenging ourselves as the club or a minor improvement that I would recommend we make is to include everything in the agenda. What I realized is right after the toast of the day or right before the toast of the day, there was a little session there where the Toastmaster of the day communicated the awards that the club received during the weekend. So although that was a great achievement for the club, it's important to also just add that onto the agenda so people are aware of what to expect during the meeting. However, that is not necessarily a terrible thing, Toastmaster of the day, because we were celebrating. Right. With that, I think I am done. My job here is done for the day. Thank you very much to everyone, our speakers, our role players. I thoroughly enjoyed today's meeting, and I'm going to stop here because I have been the chatterbox for the day. Good night.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator, for your evaluation of the meeting. Comments are noted. So I know we're running a little bit behind time, but we decided in the month of May that we would be inducting all our new members that we have had in 2025. So I think some of them are here. I can see Idah is here, Asalepele is here. I can see, okay. So with the ones that are here, we will then do that. So I have tried to make it easy by creating a slide for it so that everything moves along well. So let me just share that. It should take about 5 minutes to go through that. So member induction. So we have a total of about 10 members that we want to induct during this month. So these are the people that we had who joined us. Haletsang, Idah, Moeketsi, Kagelelo, Lillian, Tapiwa, Kayaletu, Boipelo, Buntle, and Asalepele. So hopefully, I think maybe 3 of them are here in this meeting. So as a new member, you are assigned a mentor. So several of them, in terms of who have been assigned to Melo, that's Tapiwa, Lillian, Asalepele, and Kayaletu. And then our other mentor is Lame. So we have assigned the following: Boipelo, Buntle, and Kagelelo to Lame. And then to myself, there's Haletsang, Moeketsi, and Idah. So now we will get into the induction of our new members. So any of these who are here on the call, oh, I've been told I've spelled Idah's name wrong. Apologies. So if we have any of these who are here on the call today, you can just unmute yourself so that you can read what is on the screen. I think some of you are here. I know I saw you. You were speakers: Asalepele, Idah, Kagelelo. So just unmute yourself. So we'd like you then to read what is on the screen. So you just say I, then you say your name, and then you read the rest. So if you could just unmute yourself, and together at the count of 3, I hope you're unmuted. Dumelo, I hope you can check for me if I've unmuted. So 1, 2, 3, and I.
I,
Kagelelo
Idah Heii,
Mogotsi, in the presence of my fellow
fellow
members of
members of
Gaborone
Members
Toastmasters Club,
of
make
Gaborone
this firm
Toastmasters Club
obligation to attend
to
meetings
attend meetings
regularly and prepare
regularly
for each
and
assignment.
prepare
To
for
apply
each
myself to the project
assignment.
outlined
To
in the
apply myself
Toastmasters
to
education
the
program.
Toastmasters
To
education
participate actively in the club activities.
in club activities.
To
To
evaluate others in a
in a
positive,
positive,
constructive manner.
manner.
To
To
build
build
open, friendly relationships with my fellow members, and to bring other new members into the club so that they can also gain the benefits of Toastmasters.
Ooh, that was great. So that is what you are committing yourself to as we induct you into Gaborone Toastmasters. And then the following is for us, the Gaborone Toastmasters members. So since we're many, I'll just go through it. And then I think at the end, we can just, we can all unmute and say, we agree to do this. So we, the members of Gaborone Toastmasters Club, pledge to support you, our new members, in your quest for self-development, to provide you with positive, helpful evaluations, to maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere, to give you opportunities to help others, and to make your Toastmasters membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience. And we all say we do. Oh, we will.
We do.
We do agree.
Yes. So for our new members, I would like to officially welcome you to the club. Apologies for doing this a little bit late for some of you. And we will send out certificates officially welcoming you to Gaborone Toastmasters Club. So I guess maybe we can just unmute ourselves and just give a nice big cheer for our new members that have been inducted into Gaborone Toastmasters Club. All right. So with that being said, we'll now move on to our awards and recognition. And now I'm putting on my hat as the VPE. So we've been voting this evening. So based on your votes, drum roll, our best evaluator of the evening and is none other than Lame Mtetwa. Woo, 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 woo. And then the best effort speaker of the evening is Moeketsi, our visiting Toastmaster. Woo, woo, woo. And all the time, we always show appreciation to people who come to help us. Gerald Peterson for being the Toastmaster, for giving the toast of the day. Nzamo for being our timer. Kamohelo for being a speaker. And of course, Moeketsi for being a... Thank you so much. And this is just our certificate of appreciation to you for coming to help us. With that being said, I'll now hand over to Dumelo.
Thank you so much, Leah, for running today's program. Thank you to everyone who joined us, our visiting Toastmasters, even those who gave speeches, and to our new members. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I love new members, if you ask me. But before I give my closing remarks, I'd just like to give a few announcements. A few weeks ago, we shared our program or our calendar for the month of May. And because we missed last week, we will be continuing with our next week's meeting. So next week on the 13th of May, same time, same place, we'll be here on Zoom. Post that, we'll have another meeting on the 20th of May. So it's looking a lot like we're having meetings every week. I'm hoping you guys can join us as you always do. And before I close, I'd just like to bother you and ask you to switch on your camera so we take a picture for our thumbnail. We have a YouTube page. If you haven't already followed us, please follow us on YouTube. Please switch on your camera. Leah, are you ready? Cameras are coming on. Let's take a picture for the thumbnail. We are glad that you could join us tonight. Yay, nice big smile.
I'm waiting for more cameras to switch on.
Okay.
And then we can take the picture for our thumbnail, as she stated. Our YouTube channel is slowly growing. We're not that big, but we're growing.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
I'm famous
one day
now.
we'll be big.
I'm famous. I have 11 views.
Okay,
But
more
yes,
cameras are
follow.
coming.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I think maybe that is also, I want to see nice big smiles. All right. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much for humoring us with that. But as we end tonight's program, I'd just like to say, let's take the spirit of this theme with us. It really never is too late. Not too late to become the speaker you've always wanted to be. Not too late to lead, to grow, or to help someone else do the same as we do here at Toastmasters. Toastmasters gives us a second chance, a third, or however many chances that we need. Thank you all for showing up, for stepping up, and for believing in your potential. Keep going, keep growing, and remember, every day is a new beginning. See you next time, and until then, it's never too late to be amazing. Thank you so much, and good night.